Hey, so we're back in Vancouver, and what are we doing in the world of cheap Vancouver eats today?
We are doing Ethiopian. And Vancouver has always, well, not always, since I'd say the 80s, Vancouver's had a small handful of Ethiopian restaurants that come and go. Our new favorite, well, it's not new, our favorite these days is called Axum.
And it's right next, it's conveniently placed right next to the stunning location next to a Mr. Lube. So you can park and you can get your car fluids replaced while you go right next door and get a bunch of good food. Ethiopian is awesome, and it belies all the TV infomercials that were on during the 80s and the 90s when there was a horrible famine in Ethiopia, and one might not think that there was a cuisine of note coming out of Ethiopia.
But we love Ethiopian food, and it is not only really, really tasty, but it's super healthy, and the family that owns this restaurant are lovely.
Yeah. You want to go get some?
I do.
Let's go. So I wasn't lying. It's right next to the Mr. Lube. Hi. Can we just grab a table anywhere? Let's go over here. Water is good. Thank you. So Axum is one of the... This is probably the one that we come to the most, I would say, right? Like we've been to a couple of other ones. But for some reason, we always keep coming back here because the people that run it are absolutely lovely. The food is reliably good, and it's kind of funky. It's definitely in a funky part of town.
and the price is good too. Yeah, we have been to,
quite good.
There are a couple others in the city, and no dissing them. They're perfectly good, but this has become our favorite.
So the rookie mistake that you would make when you come for Ethiopian food is you don't complain to the wait person that there's no knife and fork on the table, because a lot of South Indian places in South India, you eat with your hands.
In fact, I was going to say, so the first thing you do is you order. The second thing you do is you go wash your hands.
That's right, young lady. That's right. Or no dessert for you. And they do have a liquor license, but the prices here are like, it falls into the ethos of Vancouver cheap eats because it is relatively inexpensive.
Yep.
We're gonna blow the budget tonight and get 2 dishes, just to show you some of the stuff that's around. But it's really good, and it's quite efficient too, wouldn't you say? Because you actually end up eating the plate that the food comes on. So that's
not a plate. But
we'll show you more than that. I think we got to go wash our hands.
So it's the vegetarian platter with the first 4 items.
Okay.
But we also would like the chicken tips.
Chicken tips, yeah.
Chicken tips.
And that's going to be more than enough. Thank you. So.
And that is more than enough.
It is, yeah, definitely.
If it was just the 2 of us and we didn't want leftovers, we would just get the vegetarian platter. That is enough for the 2 of us.
And if drinking water and having that is enough to make us totally stuffed, and we can get out of here for under $20 for the 2 of us. So that's
kind of amazing.
Pretty neat.
But we added on the chicken tips, which is very tasty. There are some other meat options as well.
Hello, Mr. Tips.
And they pour that in the middle of the injera. So let's talk about injera.
Yeah.
So injera is a fermented flatbread.
Spongy.
It's a little bit spongy, and it's kind of sour, like sourdough, and it's not to everybody's liking. We had a friend who really did not like it after we recommended it.
But we ditched them. We're not really friends with them anymore.
Not true. But it's, I really like it. It's made with teff, which is a grain that used to be really hard to get here, but you can get it more now. Or teff flour, if you want to make it yourself, to make injera yourself. And like I said, it's fermented, so it's a bit like some of the South Indian dosa, uttapam, various, those sorts of
little bubbles.
Bread.
It's all spongy, and it soaks up the sauce like nobody's business.
So then they place each of the items onto, and we ordered the first 4 items on the menu, which are 2 different kinds of legumes, and anybody who knows me knows I love me some legumes.
She loves some legumes.
So it's like a thick dal, I guess I would say, right? So lentils.
And then there's a cabbage and carrot.
Then there's cabbage, carrot dish, and then there's like a spinach dish, gomen.
So it's Vegetarian, yes, but it's not quite vegan because they use copious amounts of butter.
They do.
Which is probably why I like it so much.
And some places add a little bit of cheese in with that spinach. This place does not. But yeah, lots of spiced butter that is amazing. And then, as I said, we sometimes get the chicken as well that we get put in there, because then we end up taking it home and having a great sort of, it's kind of hard to eat the next day. The next day you have to like throw it in the microwave and then eat it with a fork because it's a mess.
It's a melange.
It's no longer easy to eat. But we'll show you when it comes.
Yeah. Anyway, it's awesome. We're going to go wash up and get ready for wonderfulness. While Laurel's in there doing her personal hygiene regimen, I just wanted to make a point of saying, please hit the subscribe button and like us and leave a comment. We're doing our series of stuff on Vancouver cheap eats, but good cheap eats restaurants. And if you have one that you think that we should go and do a little bit of a review on, a review is a little on the pretentious side, just go and experience, tell us and we'll do our best to check it out. So here's a little bit of an overview of the menu. This is all the vegetarian dishes. And where's the special at there?
Veggie combo.
Oh yeah, the veggie combo for $16. You can't go wrong. You could pick anything that's in here.
Four of them. So we always get, so you get this Kik Alicha. I don't know how to pronounce any of this. So you get yellow split peas, then you get the split lentils here, and then the spinach and cabbage and carrots. But we've had the green beans there also.
It's all kind of good. And then we're getting the chicken tips. Doro Tibs right down there. It's good. And then they have, lamb and beef and all kinds of fish even, but we haven't done the fish tips here.
I think we did it once and we didn't. It was not our favorite.
It was okay. And they have a liquor license, so you can get reasonably priced wine and beer and all that.
Not a huge selection, but that's okay.
So there you go. So this is a low budget heaven, and this is Axum Spicy Foods. Oh boy. A little shy on the vegetables at this time. So this is it. We got oh, this is so good. So that's the spinach. Oh yeah. Look at that. So this is pretty cool. So we have a plate with 4 things on it. Here comes the chicken. Oh man, that's wicked. Thanks so much.
We've got, this is the split lentils and the split peas and spinach, and this is the cabbage and carrot dish. This is the injera that Rob alluded to as the plate. And then there are extra rolls of it here, and you take one, and the chicken in the middle. Take one, you break off a piece, and you use it as your fork or spoon or whatever. You spork.
And this is, it's pretty amazing. And then if you run out of injera, they will be kind enough to bring you some more.
But we usually have a bit from the rolls, and then we start in on the plate itself because it's soaking in all the sauces, and it's so good. Spinach covered, like just soaked in this spiced ghee, basically butter.
And the spicing mixture is really interesting. Like a lot of it, there's this. Is it berry? Berry is the reddish proprietary spice. It happens to be in a lot of. It's a mixture of different spices that's in a lot of these things. And this yellow lentil has got lots of cardamom, and I think there's still a fair amount of butter in this one as well.
Yeah.
But cardamom's really prominent in this.
Yeah, which is really interesting. It's not always. We've been to other Ethiopian restaurants, and the cardamom is not always prominent. But it is here. And this dish, I absolutely love this. This elevates cabbage and carrots to something I don't even know what, and it's because of the butter.
Majesty. Going in.
I see some chili.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It has some kick to it. That's a good thing. So yeah. So this is such a great social thing to do. So if you came with 4 four people. Came with like another couple, and it's a very communal kind of thing. Everyone obviously eats with their hands, and there's just something about doing that that's a great societal level. I think it's really, really nice.
We liked it in South India when we lived in Kerala, where you eat with your hands, but Ethiopian it's slightly different. Instead of using the rice as your scoop, you're using the injera, and I love injera. It's just, and my body seems to like it too.
You can see up close, but oh, hang on. Very spongy, like lots of little holes in there from the fermentation.
This is heaven.
She's a happy girl. Our friends in South India said it always tastes better when you eat with your hands. And I can't think of anything that would prove that wrong.
Want a bite?
No. Substantial amount of food, huge amount of flavor, tremendous value, and if you come here on a Saturday night or Friday night, there's even live music and $5 beers. So I think we're going to chew and get on with it, Joe, for a bit. So by now, if you've been following along, I think you know us as we're relatively adventurous eaters, and but the curious thing is, whenever we come here, we are such creatures of habit. It's like I don't even know who I am anymore, kind of thing, because we almost always get this because it's just so darn good that there's never any reason to deviate. And we've been to other Ethiopian restaurants, and this is one in Seattle that we went to that has they have a really interesting, like a raw beef tartare kind of dish. Yeah, and there is other stuff, but maybe next year, I think. So, mid-meal check-in.
It's really tasty. I mean,
that's all I need to know.
So, yeah, we ordered the chicken hot, as in spicy. It is spicier than some people would probably like. I find it, I would call it medium.
Yeah.
In my lexicon, this is medium, but it's nice. It's a nice mark going on, and the flavor is just great. The spicing of all of it is really good, and each dish is a bit different in its spicing. There are a couple of spices that you put into the spiced clarified butter that I can't get my hands on unless I want to spend an outrageous sum, on Amazon or something. There are ways. I know Marcus Samuelson, Swedish chef who's
Ethiopian
by birth, but was raised in Sweden. He does some variations of things, of some of these dishes, minus the spices that are hard to get your hands on. So, yeah, that's one way of doing it, but I'd be really missing it.
There it is.
So we have reached saturation. We have eaten the accompanying injera. And you can see here they've started in the breaking off.
Starting in on the plate.
Just break off a piece and go in. But really, we're going to get a takeout container.
Yeah.
And we're going to pull this up so it all gets kind of mixed together. Throw it in the takeout container. And one or both of us will snack on that for lunch tomorrow.
Once again, tremendous value, and
so good.
And my mouth feels warm and alive.
And I think, butter notwithstanding, because there's a lot of butter in it, it's really healthy. Like, otherwise, it's an incredibly healthy cuisine.
Yeah.
Some are, some aren't. This one is.
It's really good. So, check it out. It's
Axum.
All right. Cool.
I have no idea if this is how you ought to do it.
Well, that's how we are going to do it. Okay, now can you make it into the takeout container? Oh, bold. What a great maneuver.
Microwave that tomorrow. Yeah. And it's one of the few times where I think microwave is the best way to deal with leftovers.
You can actually buy bulk spices here too, which is kind of a cool thing.
The spices I was talking about.
But they do have their own version of berry in there, so. And, you see they have some pretty authentic African music playing here on the weekends too, which is great. Well, the plate is empty. I think it's time for dessert. Not. It's time for a nap. That was $38 with tax and tip for 2 whole days worth of meals. So there it is, that icon of architecture, the Mr. Lube. This is truly in basically a no man's land of of restaurants.
It's restaurant equipment, and supply, and even gourmet warehouse isn't there anymore.
And only a few blocks to the west, you can buy all the hard drugs you want. Let's get a thumbs up from Laurel. Yay!
So, always a great meal. I just wanted to point out, Rob said it was what, 32?
38 bucks.
38 with tax and tip. If though we hadn't done the chicken, the Doro Tibs, with it, and just done the vegetarian plate, it would have been about $20 for both of us.
Yeah.
Because that vegetarian plate with the 4 dishes on it is $16. The Doro Tibs was also $16, right? So that's how we ended up getting up that high. But this is cheap if you're willing to do the vegetarian version, which has so much flavor. I highly, highly recommend it.
But we only ordered the extra just so we could show you a second dish. You know, we took one for the team, basically, is what we did.
He loves that dish.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe.